This is News Tower. We played this before in early access. Well, it's been fully released now, and I'm really, really excited to get back into it. If you want to get a proper introduction to the story as it goes, I recommend checking out the first 2 minutes or so of the original playlist. I'll link that in the description. Just like the first 2.5 minutes is good. They changed it a little bit here. We'll probably have a little bit of a read, but it's a much better beginning before, in my opinion. This is the classic way to play, it says. You have a recommended once you get the hang of the game. We're not going to need the tutorial, so I'm going to go ahead and start a series like this. However, there is a low rise and a high rise mode, which is interesting. Different strategy with a wider and lower tower. I think that would be cool. Beat the Jersey Beacon in order to unlock this game style. And then try out a different strategy with a more narrow and taller tower. You can beat the Empire Observer in order to unlock this game style. What does that mean? Well, we have competition in the city now. There's the Jersey Beacon and there's the Empire Observer. So we gotta, not just try to gather as many subscribers as we can, but also take them away from our competition. I think that sounds great. Let's get into it. Welcome to New York City, it says. Your father's been gone a decade now, and frankly, he left things in a bit of a state. But don't worry, this city will chew you up anyway. It's what it does. Call it an overdue inheritance, but the business is all yours now. It'll be tough on your own, but I think you'll find a way to keep the lights on, one way or the other. I actually enjoyed having the name we had before. So I'm going to go with The Real Deal, because I actually think The Real Deal deserves a bit of a good playthrough here. I've arranged a taxi. Take it. Your uncle. Here we go. My intro before was way better. Like I said, go watch the first 2.5 minutes or so of that original playlist if you want to get a good introduction to the story as it is. So we've inherited this newspaper, which is nothing at the moment. We have to actually build it. We start with 20,000 bucks. Top of the screen, we have a lot of stuff to talk about here. If you haven't seen the game, I do like to give just a brief overview of what you're seeing so that you're not lost. I don't want people to have to go through a tutorial just to know what's going on the screen. So we have the current month. Every day, quote unquote, in the game is a month. So we have January 1930 here. Our gameplay clocks. These are the days, okay? So, we have a week and then there's this month. You get it. You'll understand it as you go. This is the globe. We're going to find stories all around the globe, and we have Europe in the game now. Although it is locked, we have to unlock it. It's in the game. This is a full release game now, so I'm expecting good things. We have 6 topics, if you will, 6 categories to look through and to try to find stories about: crime, economics, entertainment, politics, society, and sports pieces, okay? And then we have the number of items that are left to research. And in this case, for this month, I guess this week, whatever, there are 6 to find. So we have to find the 6 stories. They're not just going to come to us. We got to go and find them. Okay? So as we go, I'll talk you through these little tabs and stuff here. Sure. First thing I want to do, though, is actually build what we got going on here. So I'm actually going to add a floor. It's 1,000 bucks. And then I'm going to add another floor. That's another 2,500. So we're going to start things off with 3 floors because I need the room. Okay? First thing I want to build in the building menu is our printer. Like the most important piece of equipment in the entire newspaper industry is the printer, right? We got to actually have the paper in order to sell it. So we have over here in printing, we have an output module. I'm going to throw that over here. We have an input module. I'm going to put that over here. Paper starts right here, gets fed through here, goes through, prints, and ends up in the output module. In order to print, it's this middle section. That's the printer page module. So I'm going to place that right over here, okay? And I'm probably going to actually see if I can't maybe move this just a little bit further over to make room, because eventually we're going to want another printer page module. In fact, why don't we just do that right now? Now, that is the most that we can have, all right? At the moment, we can only have up to 2 pages in our newspaper. We need to earn the right, earn the ability to have more pages. We're going to use the belt. Printer belt runs alongside the whole thing. And that's it. Our printer is set up. Now we need everything else that goes with this, okay? So let's take a look at lighting first. We're just going to make a little bit of lighting in here so anyone who's working in here on stuff can actually see what they're doing. I'm also going to go ahead and grab a wall with a door. We want to partition this off from everything else, because you'll notice if I use this overlay here with all the colors, this is not a desirable place to be. It's very hot in here. We need to cool it down, but since no one's working in here, it won't technically matter. Although anyone who's doing resupplies or repairs is not going to have a good time in here. We want to do a little bit to help with that eventually. Eventually, also, we'll have to generate our own power on site because we're only allotted a certain amount of power. At this point, we're currently using 34% of our capacity. As we expand and do more, we'll have to, work on that with our own generator, and then that means buying coal to burn our own generator. It's very expensive to generate your own power. Luckily, we can go to 4, maybe 5 floors-ish before we get to the point where we have to worry about that. Next, we need stairs to get up there. We don't have elevators or anything yet. It's 1930. We haven't unlocked it also. So I'm going to go this way with it, and I'm going to go up this way with it. So this is going to be where our stairs go leading up to that side. Okay, next I am going to configure this for, let's put an air vent here. It's going to help with the cooling a little bit. Maybe I can put it on this side of the room. I mean, both sides would probably be preferable, but I'm trying to save money here. I'm cheap. Let's do a fan right here also. It's going to kind of cover this. And then I think what I'd like to do is have the bathroom up here, I think, because people are going to need a bathroom. So I'm going to go and say we put a sink here. Let's put a trash can near the sink. Let's go with the bathroom facilities. Where are those? Employee needs. Yeah. Toilet can be right up here next to that wall. I'm sure they won't mind the noise and the heat that comes from that. It's probably bad. It's probably a bad idea to put this here. Maybe we'll put it right over by the door instead. Let's put it right over by the door. About like that should do it. But I need a wall between it. I just want to make sure that we're not having the smell go down the stairs. The smells, sounds, heat, it all travels down the stairs as well. So we kind of want to partition that off a little bit too. So let's put a door here and a door here. So that'll kind of separate it out. It's a very small bathroom at the moment. And of course, we're going to want to make it a little bit more comfortable in here as well. So let's start with some lighting in this room, and this room. You can see our power usage is going up every time we add some lights. I want storage right here. Storage cabinet's going to be in this area. Ooh, let's put this a little higher. Maybe that'll work if I put this way up here. Can I have this now? Yeah, there we go. I want that to be like that. Maybe we can slide this over just a little bit. So you got to kind of go through the bathroom to get to storage. I think it'll be okay. And then real quick, let's put in an air vent here. We want to really take down the noise and also the smell and all these things too. So this will get rid of the heat pretty fast and pretty much eliminated the smell. The noise is still there. We can use acoustic panels for this right there. So we can have an acoustic panel maybe just in here, and that'll cut the noise passing through anyway. So now we don't have any negatives coming through here, which is good. Finally, I can make them a little bit happier in the bathroom by adding a little clock so they can see what time it is and how long it's been taking them to poop. So we can kind of go about like that. That's good. A little bit of green there to help with that. Okay, top floor's done. Why did I focus on the top floor so much? Because I think it's a really important part of the game to get the printer and the storage and all that stuff set up. But now we have an even more important part of the game, and that is where my actual people are going to be. I have $10,595 left. Let's start on this. First, I think we're going to focus on our assembly tables. The assembly table is the last place that people go. So this is the last, there's a workflow for this, and I'm going to work backwards in that workflow. So we have an assembly table. These are people who are going to put all the stories that we've already written. They're going to put them together. We have three different skills in these employees. And pretty much every employee has 3 sets of skills. So in this case, we have assembling, telegraphs, and typesetting. And they get these little chevrons, and they move this way as they get better at their job. So Susan is a better typesetter than everybody else. She also has a little bit of a perk here. It says she's cheap, no strings attached. Sometimes these are positive, sometimes they're not so positive. But most of the time, I think they're kind of positive. Frugal, 50% of resources when working is nice. We have deadline driven. I like this. 25% increased task speed on Saturdays and Sundays. That's fantastic because if we're at a tight deadline, this person can make a difference. We're going to put Walter here. And then probably going to put Susan here. Let's hold off on that for a second. We have a big eater. Nutrition stat decreases more slowly. Okay. That's good. If she's a big eater, I feel like she should have a bigger appetite, right? Should be increasing faster. I don't know. Maybe I'm just misreading that. I think I'm going to go with Susan because she's cheap. Okay, so that takes care of that. Next, we want to get our typesetting desks. All right, so we're going to put the typesetting desks. I think we're going to slap it right here. And we're going to get another one right here for now. So at least 2 typesetters for the first day. And we have these 2 for that task, okay? So you're frugal, using less things. Yeah, I like it. So we're just going to put you guys right here. Okay, now we need reporters. So we got 86.95 left. We need reporters. Reporters are very important, and it's a really immersive part of the game, honestly. So reporters are going to be down here for now. I am probably going to shift this around. And in fact, I'm thinking, because we're early, we're going to be shifting things around constantly. Because we're very early in the game, I'm actually going to put the typesetters down here. And I'll share with you a little bit more as to why they're going to be down there in a second. Okay, so the next thing we have is reporters. Now, reporters have those 6 categories that we looked at before. They each specialize in 3 of them. So there's a little bit of crossover, but you need a diverse staff in order to be able to cover a wide variety of stories. So we have economy, entertainment, and politics on this one. We have crime, society, and sports on this one. 0 overlap, which is kind of interesting. This one's economy, entertainment, politics, same thing here. And then this one is a little bit of political overlap there, but doesn't cover sports. So we don't need to cover everything. Certain areas are going to require us to address a certain topic in order to get them as subscribers. We'll look at that in a second. But we are kind of free to focus on the types of stories that we want. Also, certain perks. Very good. Smell tolerant, not bothered by smell is okay. That's not the one I prefer to have, but in fact, all of these are kind of bad as far as I'm concerned, as far as their... I mean, I guess if they're not affected by darkness, I could put them in the darkness. I don't need to light their area, which is kind of nice, but I think I'd like a different assortment of people, to be honest. So I'm going to re-roll it for $100. I can re-roll that. And when I re-roll it, oh, it doesn't re-roll this tab either. Interesting. I thought it would re-roll this tab as well. I'm going to have to re-roll this tab because I need telegraphers. So I guess I'm using one of my re-rolls to get that too. Okay. Let's take a look. So we have resilient, nocturnal again. These guys don't have any perks. We just need to get people in the seats at the moment. And that's really all that's important at the moment. So why don't we go ahead and get a... you're cheapest. So let's do this for a second. So we have crime, entertainment, society for $45. Jillian, we'll throw you... oh, hang on. Nope. Reporter's desk right here. Yep. We'll put you over here for now. Now, she's going to get replaced. I'm pretty sure she's going to get replaced. But in the event that she doesn't get replaced, we want to make sure that we put reporters that have overlapping topics next to each other, because there are bonuses that we can install in our building that aid and make them better at their job. And they work by addressing certain topics. So, for example, a baseball bat on the wall signed by some big baseball player could buff their sports reporting ability, right? A globe might make them more attuned to society or something, right? Like, that's the kinds of stuff that we're going to be looking at. So we want to have people that have a little bit of crossover next to each other. For that reason, I'm going to put Gary Roberts right next to her, because they have crime and society in common. I could put crime and society things nearby and increase both of those skills. Okay, so we're going to come over, put a reporter's desk here. I'm going to have, I think, 4 reporters in the beginning, maybe 3 for today. 3 for today is probably enough. So right here, I need Gary Roberts here. And I could also maybe check out her skills really quick. So we could also maybe overlap her here too. Resilient. There's society here, because he's a better reporter. Well, maybe not. He's using entertainment. I have entertainment already. Yeah, let's put Gary Roberts next to her right there. Okay. Now he has crime, economy, and society. And so next to, I don't think we have anybody at politics right now, which is a big topic. So we kind of want to make sure that we don't have any politics person. So we're going to definitely have you here. Now, they have a little bit of an economy overlap, but she does sports. And these guys don't do sports. All right. Now, if I wanted to increase their abilities already, you can go to the reporting accessories tab, and you can see the globe is included by default. This adds 1 to society and also buffs the telegrapher. So we're going to add a globe to your desk, and you can see that their society ability went up by 1, and then society ability went up by 1 there. Okay, now I need 1 on each desk, but eventually we'll have like wall hangable things, and they'll address both of them. All right, last thing is our typesetters are already done. They're just still standing upstairs. What we need is telegraphers now. This is the final thing. Super important, but we are limited in how many telegraphers we can have at the beginning. Unfortunately, we can only have up to 3 at the very beginning. And I'm going to buy all the desks, but I'm probably only going to hire 2 for the first week. Although I do want to get all of the stories, though. Might be overspending, but I'm going to hire all 3 today. I think so. Yeah. As long as I can afford to do so. So we'll do a wall with a door. Let's maybe give them a little more space. Maybe like this will be fine. That's good. We need telegraphers. Thankfully, all of the proposed staff that on the reroll, they're all at least a 1 extra chevron on telegraphing, which is great. They are sloth, though. Ugh. Extremely slow, but extremely cheap. Extremely slow, but extremely cheap. I don't like that. Monday blues. Task speed is reduced by 75% on Mondays, but works for less money. These 3 are horrible. I need speed. Out of this position of all things, I need speed. Well, okay, of all things. I suppose typesetting is a big thing, too. I need speed out of these guys, too, but kind of need speed out of everybody. We'll put Vladimir Candy in first, and then we'll re-roll this. That's the last re-roll I got, so I'm stuck with who I got here. Quick study, gains experience, 50% faster. Very nice, worth the extra money. And then you're just cheap, frugal, nocturnal, being unaffected by darkness. I think I'm going to take the cheap person here. So we'll pop you there. Okay, 55.95. We have 3 telegraphers. Now notice that this is not a very desirable place. We have to fix that. These guys are talking lots of times. It's kind of noisy. So we're going to add their telegraphing skills a little bit. We're going to add these globes. A little pricey. We're going to have to give them lighting because they're not nocturnal. That's okay. We're also going to have to give lighting here and give lighting over here. For now, we're just going to put 1 light above both of these guys, and hopefully that's good enough. We're at 60% of our power already. Okay, we need comfort stuff. So it's noisy in here, right? So we'll use these. And I don't really like that the acoustic panels do this because that's not really how acoustic panels work in real life here. Like to stop noise from traveling this way. You should have barriers, put them in like kiosks or cubicles or something, then that would make more sense. But we're going to put a couple of these on the wall as high as possible. Not because they're more effective at height or anything. It's just because I can put more stuff on the walls, and I don't want it to be sitting in the middle of the wall because then I probably can't fit anything on the pops and bottoms. So pick a side, either all the way low or all the way high. We're going to go all the way high. All right, that makes that a little bit more desirable. Let's get a little bit of green in here if we could. So we're going to go with like comfort, and we're going to add a clock here, make that a little bit more desirable, make this a little bit more desirable. Let's add a clock down here and a clock down over here. So everybody should be happier working where they are, hopefully. Okay. Final thing is people need to have water. Also we have this apple painting, which is a exclusive thing that's adding prestige. And so I can probably go over here and add this to the bottom floor and kind of bump it up a little bit here. Maybe for the start, I'll just put it like near the door. It's not really going to affect everybody, but I don't want to cloud the spaces near these guys because of the bonuses. So we'll just put it there for now. Now, there's other things we can do to counter it. For example, I could put industrial wallpaper in here, and that would really help, with the heat and everything. But, making this industrials and stuff. But it's very expensive, $850 to do that. And I'm going to be moving these eventually, so I'm not going to bother with that right now. Same thing with the bathroom. The bathroom is going to get moved eventually, but I can put tiles and wallpaper in here to settle a lot of the cleanliness and stuff that goes with it. But it's fine. Speaking of cleanliness, there's also a couple of other things we need to address. Trash cans. I'm going to put those under the desks. One right there, and one over next to these guys, let's say there, and also one over here. You can fit them under the desk, and it helps with like the general area of them using trash. So helps mitigate trash because they use paper and stuff, so they're gonna have to throw things away. The other thing we can do is, where is it? Looking for water cooler. They need to like drink and stuff. So I'm gonna put this here. Here's fine. And then we need to order food and stuff. The person that's going to be managing that is a resupply person, but I'm going to hold off on hiring them because I can technically do that myself. We can micromanage that a little bit, save a little bit of money at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. What I can't do myself very well is the workbench. I'm hoping that the first day I don't have to deal with that. And then the sweeping station, this is just picking up trash and stuff. I can't do that on my own, so we're going to have a sweeping station right over here. And we're going to hire somebody to work that sweeping station. It's going to be walking speed increased by 35% when carrying crates. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one for a resupply person. I don't want to lose that trait. You know what? I'm going to put you on the sweeping station and then move you to the resupply once we get that. Okay, sounds good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit spacebar, let the time run. These guys are going to reposition themselves. It's okay. They don't have much to do at the moment. The most important people in the room on Monday morning are these guys right here. These are our telegraphers. They are our window to the outside world. They are listening in and recording all the news that's coming in so that we can write about it. Up at the top of the screen, we have these light bulbs. Each of these light bulbs represents one of these people. When they find a story, they'll stop looking, and this is a progress bar. They'll stop looking, this lights up and stays lit. Research is ready, it says. We can take a look at this. This is the automobile show opening. We have 3 reporters, each of them with their own specializations. It's only going to show relevant ones here that are lit. Other ones that are not relevant, that can't go on the stories at the moment, will be faded. So we have an economy story here. We have society, and we have politics. This is there's 3 different subjects to this story, which is a big deal, but it's also going to take a lot of days to do it unless I send everyone on it at once. This story has a lot of tags. There's an economy tag, a society tag, and a politics tag. Tags are super important. The more tags you can use in your paper, the more people you can get to buy it. So I'm going to take and put you on society. I'm going to put you on the politics, but notice that I can't do anything with this one now. This is my society and politics person. You can only do one at a time. And Rosalie is busy, right, over here on the economy side of things. So I can't use her. So this is going to be a 2-day reporting, unfortunately. And it takes 2 of my reporters to do that. Probably going to need another reporter, to be honest. Why don't we go ahead and just get, I have $4,400, so why don't we get another reporter's desk? And let's see, what do we want here? So this reporter has economy, politics, I definitely want another politics reporter, right? I unfortunately don't have that available to me, and I can't re-roll this month. So it's going to be an empty desk. I can't do anything about it until I get more people. Okay. We have another society piece here. Looks like we can choose, it's both. So it's just, yeah, society politics. So why don't we throw Jillian on that? We could. Now it says also, if we have a line of communication to this news, if we don't want this story, or we're choosing not to post this story, or it's not important, we have other things that we would rather look at, then we can close the line of communication with this. Until we close that line of communication, the telegrapher is not going to be looking for any more information. So basically, at the moment, you can have 3 things on the map at a time. There are 3 extra things to find, and Monday's almost over. So the key is we need to find the articles that are out there, find the stories that are out there, and do it, and get the reporters on the ground, and get all this information in time to print it on Sunday. So if we're finding these things on Saturday, we're not going to print it this week or this month. I guess it's a little confusing because it's a week here, but then it shifts to the next month. So anyway. So this is just a quick little society piece. It's 1 day. I am going to focus on the multi-pronged stories because they're a little bit better, and finding them early is pretty good. It does mean, though, that we will be delayed in finding the other stories, which isn't great. Maybe we'll take a balanced approach on this. Let's go for this one right now. Because this one only has 1. So once she gets it, the line of communication can close, and we can search for the next story. So this one's going to have to wait just a little bit longer because I'm already doing a multi one here. So at the moment, there's nothing for telegraphers to do. Also, this person's not very happy having to walk through the darkness. I understand. Here you go. Yeah. She's going to pick up the trash and stuff. I can't really do that myself very well, so I'm glad to have that. One thing we can do, though, or we need to do, is our printer starts with 100 paper. And that's okay. Probably for the first week or so, that's not a big deal. We are printing 2 pages, so probably I need more. I'm going to order paper here. $600 gives me a large delivery of paper. We'll go ahead and do that. I'm also going to take and get a small delivery. Let's go medium delivery of food and stuff. At the moment, food, quote unquote, is really just refreshing this water cooler. And these are things I can do. So I don't need to hire the people yet, but eventually I want to stop micromanaging this. So I'm going to put the paper from the street into this input module right here. And I'll get that up there like, yeah, 350, 400 paper. That's good. I'm probably going to have to order more, honestly, because these guys are going to eventually need paper too. So why don't we go ahead and just get another big order of paper as well. Here's our food stuff. Put that in the water cooler up to 60 now. I can put that up to, let's put this in the storage instead. Now, the advantage to putting it into storage instead is, of course, that your employees can access it really easily. And you don't have to waste any. So like if there's 80 in that water cooler and it can only store 100, I'm going to drag that over there, and it's kind of wasting a little bit of it, to be honest. I don't know whether the box stays. My experience, it doesn't. So I think you end up kind of wasting it that way. I don't like that. Okay, we're not ready yet, but notice the icon here. It says their hands are full. That means they are done, but they have to, once they are done on that location, they have to come here. They're going to walk in from the sidewalk. They're going to enter the building, walk up the stairs, and they're going to have to hand it to a typesetter. And that's why I put the typesetters next to the door. Because once the reporter hands it, they are now immediately available to go on another story. So Gary Roberts can be sent to this one if we want to. This person's got their hands full. Let's see what we got here. We got right there. There's this multi-pronged story here, but this one is the one that's going to finish soon. We need to send Rosalie to this one. So Rosalie's not going to go to either one of these. So Gary can go here. And Rosalie's not going here until she's done with this one, because I need to get that telegrapher freed up. Okay, good. So we have different views here. This is what the place normally looks like. I can also see kind of like behind the wall with the stairs and everything here. And then this is that desirability overlay. I tend to spend most of my time in the desirability overlay, but you know, is what it is. Okay, so we have 2 people available here, but Rosalie, we need her to go to that specific story, so I don't want to send her yet. Jillian can go, and you'll notice this one has an either or. We can only choose one path for this story. Do we tell the economy side of things or the crime side of things? So one of the things to consider in this game is when you're printing your newspaper, you have a limited number of space. This is our first page, and we have a second page, okay? And in these 2 pages, if you put stories that have the same tags, you get bonuses for putting them all together. So in this case, this story is a society piece and an economy piece. So we have 3 society pieces. These should all go on a page together, right? That's the kind of idea here. Now, if I take a look at the map, we have, these things are still working on it, but it looks like some of them are going to have political sides to things. This is an economy piece, society. There's a political angle here too. We're going to get that. And so we might want to, in this one here, same thing, there's politics, right? We might want to have this one be an economy piece just because we don't have any other crime stories. And if we take a look at this, we have 2 stories left to research, and it's red here, which means we don't have any more crime stories left on the map. For that reason, this is going to kind of be an oddball. It's not really going to mesh with a lot of other stuff that we have. So it makes sense for us to probably get the economic side of the story over the crime story for this month so that I can, get those combos. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm taking a risk here because it leaves the story open longer. But since I only have 2 to find, I'm hoping I can make that work. It's gives and takes. Rosalie's got to go to this one, though, for the day. So we're going to put her into that one. Because she's my only political correspondent, if you will, my only political reporter. And then when she's done with that one, she needs to rush over to this one. So it's kind of a... I don't know about this one. We might have to get rid of this story, which I don't want to do. Or just suck it up and say, you know what? We can't put her on this. If Gary's got 5 hours, he could do it. When Gary's done, he can do it, I think. Okay, we'll let the time go a little bit here. Take a look at this. Rosalie's got 7 hours left on that. And Jillian's still, again, ready for this, but not quite done. There's a political side to this. We need Rosalie to do that. So I'm mostly just waiting for Gary right at the moment. Yeah, and then again, there's still 2 stories to find, and it's Wednesday. We're kind of running out of time here. So need to free up these telegraphers as fast as possible. Gary, done. Okay, Gary is going to go here. That's going to remove this as an option because it's an either or situation on that story. What angle do you want to tell? What kind of twist on the story are we looking for here? I want, if there's some event happening, do we want to focus on that crime, or do we want the reporter to focus on, the economic impacts of things and how that works? You can't do both, apparently. Here's a sports story. Freaking Rosalie. I need more reporters. That reroll, that sucks. I probably shouldn't have done that. More important to put people's butts in their seats. Now, this one's nice. This is a sports story. We may not publish this one this week. It would be nice to do so because I have 2 pages. But we may not. But all we have to do is get here, and we're going to unlock an object. That's going to aid us in our sports reporting. Okay? The more chevrons we have on this, the faster they can do this job. It's not so much about the quality. The speed is a really big deal. Being able to get there and get out of there. Because otherwise, they're just sitting here doing nothing, right? We don't like that. Let's get Rosalie there, though. That'll clear that off the board. And then we can find the other stories as fast as we can. But I only have 1 sports reporter, and that sucks. I can't even get this guy. I probably should have hired him anyway. But he doesn't have the sports stuff that I was looking for. He does have the society and economics, though. Maybe I get him anyway. I really feel like I should get an entertainment and sports reporter, though, because that's the 2 areas where I really lack people. So we're going to have stories that I won't be able to cover if I don't have that. I'm on a limited budget, so I think maybe I will take the risks here and just hold off. So that one gets cleared. And we have 1 more telegraph station opened up to find that last remaining story, which is going to be an entertainment piece. We can see that because there's no additional stories here. So there's only another entertainment piece. We know that's going to happen. And my only entertainment reporter, if she's available, Lillian's right here, ready to go. But it's almost Friday, so... I don't know about that. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that in time. Rosalie's there. She's my only sports person, too. So until she's done, I can't send her on a sports... here we go. Yeah, Lillian, go get that. And that's going to unlock an object as well. So even if we don't report, even if we can't fit the entertainment piece and the sports piece into our paper, we will still get the object. So we'll see how that goes. I think Rosalie's done, isn't she? She's got something in her hand. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of zoom this forward a little bit and drop her in there. Okay, so I've sent my reporters out. They're covering the last remaining stories. There's nothing else left to find on the map. So that's what we've got, okay? So over on the right side, we have all the stories that we've got going on for this month/week. I say week and month interchangeably in this series because it's literally a week. But then once you are done with that, it goes to the next month. So I consider them to be interchangeable things. We can click here and we can see the progress we have on the stories. Anything that's green is ready to ship. It's ready to put into the paper. Anything that's not green is still being worked on. We can click to get a bigger overview of what that is. We can see that this part of the story is completely done. This is the society element. You can see that by the fact that it goes away when I, look at, deleting it. It's going to go away. And this is the political side of it. This is done now. We get a movie poster. So that's the item we got for the entertainment one here. All right, a movie poster. And this one will give us an item here as well. So let's just go ahead and get to that really quick. There we go. This is going to give us boxing gloves. Again, adding 1 to sports reporting. So what I can do is I can come over to the desks here. And we can see that he's got economy, society. That's not what we're looking for. She's the entertainment person. Okay. So I can take this movie poster, and if I put it near her, it's going to add 1 to entertainment. Looks like it also has an entertainment. Ooh, we have an entertainment. Ooh, I didn't realize that Oh, wait. No. This is just an empty desk. But I need an entertainment and sports person, so I'm probably going to have to rearrange their desks to maximize this benefit. But for now, we can just put this here. That is going to add 1. You can see the blue, right? It's going to add 1 to her entertainment reporting. Makes her a little bit faster doing that. Likewise, for sports, boxing gloves, we could put that like over here. Yeah, we don't know exactly what reporter is going to be here, but I'm thinking entertainment and sports, hopefully entertainment and sports here. So I can shift everybody around and then maximize the benefits by putting things on the walls. Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. So the reporters have to bring it to the typesetters. Huge bottleneck potential in typesetters. Getting 3 of these guys would probably be a good idea, but I'm only doing 2 this week just because I'm trying to save the budget a little bit here. Roll the presses! This is a warning that today is press day. Today is the day we need to print. So I can come over here. I'm going to sort them by the highest production time. And we're going to see that this article, this sports article, is not going to finish in time. It just doesn't have, we just don't have the time. Over here, though, amateurish showing. This one did get in time. It's not orange. It's going to barely make it. That's why it's not like, you know, pulsing orange. So this one is going to happen. And so is this one. So we're going to end up with 5 stories this week instead of 6. Unfortunately, didn't quite get this one done. If I had gotten maybe a little bit luckier on the reporters that were available, or maybe if I had just, you know, hired the other one, I don't know. Either way, we're only going to get 5 out of the 6. But that's good. I think that's still a good first week, first month, whatever. Now, you don't have to rush to print because the game is going to stop us at the end of Sunday. The game stops everything. So we have one last chance to put our paper in place. We can print at the last minute. We don't have to worry about overshooting. So what we want to do here to maximize our benefit is we want to have like tags on the same page, and we want to maximize the value of each article. The more tags we use, the bigger impact they are. So for example, if I was to use this one here, you get a ×3, too many dogs, big thing. Here's our total sales, 7,500, because of the tags we're using. However, if I use this one instead, significantly more sales because we have 3 tags and we're getting the benefits on that. Then we want to accompany this article with other things that are similar topics, but this is considered above the fold. This is the front page above the fold when it's folded in half, right? So this is the thing that's supposed to draw people in initially, and that's why it has the biggest impact. The back page also has a double value here too. So we might want to look at using the society and political one there. But this one didn't finish. Well, that's interesting. This one should have finished. I think maybe the typesetter took a bathroom break or something. That might have happened. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get that one either. That sucks. Well, anyway, we have probably, let's just see how this works. So I can put this one here. We get a 2.5K bonus because it has a society tag that works with this one. We get the same thing happening here. Now, if I put this one in instead, we actually get more. Notice the total number of sales over here. We actually get more. However, I might get more by putting that one on the ×2 bubble instead. So let's just see. So that's 42,500. If I shift this over and do this instead, it's about the same. Multipliers 17.5. And if I go like this, yeah, this is 2,000. Okay, so I think this one's better. We put the double tag on the ×2, and then we just have this going here. So that's our paper for this week. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get these over, but at least I got the items for this. It's going to cost us 85 paper to print this. We have 400 in stock because of my purchase before. And then if we can flip this board over, this is locked right now, but eventually we're going to start seeing how our paper is seen by the public and whether we're skewing ourselves towards being a more informational paper or being more towards sensationalism. How balanced are we? How moderate are we, right? There's also advertiser appeal, which is going to start going up and down as well. So for this paper, how effective will ads be, etc. That's not something we can work on yet. So we'll talk about that later. Let's go to start and roll the press. So we got a couple of blank spaces there, unfortunately, but you know, it's the first week and I was a little ambitious in trying to get all those. 42,500 papers sold. There we go. It tells us how we did this week. We made some money. We're going to end up with 3670, but then we have expenses as well. We don't have any loans yet, although we will be leveraging debt a little bit here as we grow faster. But for now, we don't have that. So 2982 is what we're left with. And now we're on the map. So this is the new map. And there's a couple of things different in this map that didn't exist before. Namely, we have factions and stuff to please. We have competitors and stuff now. And a lot of all the stuff has been changed and rebalanced. There's a legend that kind of shows us where various different things are. Where I'm trying to get initially is I would like to build reputation with some of the factions, if you will, that are here. So the Mafia is located here. If we get in with the Mafia and, the Mafia begins to like how we report stories, then we will start getting perks that go up this way. So opens up, Cathedral in Brooklyn, supporting the Mafia's hidden agenda. We get other buildings and stuff available to us until we finally get to the top perk, being esteemed. Okay, and you can read this stuff too. It's not that important. He's just like, we don't know who you are, so get out of here. But the top perk for this is it's going to open up a union office in Brooklyn owned by the Mafia's corrupt union boss. We pay him a visit, and he will represent your workers' union organization, manipulating your staff and lowering their wages for a small price. Effectively, we pay them to lower the wages of our employees. It's okay, I guess. There are also other perks that can happen from these other factions here, too. We can get other things going from these guys as we get reputation built up with them, too. The mayor, we don't have access to him yet, either. Sorry, sugar, but his honor doesn't do walk-ins, right? But again, different things here too. So get the chief of police on our side. We can get Wall Street bankers. We get respected. We can construct a prison at the construction yard in Queens, offering ways to mitigate risks involving the police. Getting the police off our back would be a good thing. Getting the law on our side would be a good thing. And then we get esteemed here. Opens up the Republican Committee in Bergen, providing you with offers to convert your money into influence once a week. This one's very powerful. I actually very much like that. And I'm going to be, in this playthrough anyway, I am going to kind of be, I don't want to say a lapdog, right? But I am going to kind of be skewing towards the government and the mayor's perspective, even though he likes to censor certain things, because the perks are better on his side, in my opinion. When you side with the mayor, you also are going against the Mafia. If you get down to hated, then all of the things that they would ask you to do are closed permanently. And you really can't build any reputation with anyone without losing somebody. You can't, because there's no way I can get the mayor to go all the way up to the top and prevent the Mafia from liking me even just this little bit. So you kind of have to pick your choices there. There's also high society and low society, if you will, like the workers' unions and things like that versus the big business moguls and stuff. We'll take a look at those a little bit later. In order to get access to these guys, though, you got to get in a neighborhood that's nearby. And so for that, we can go to Williamsburg. However, there's a couple of buildings here that would be very helpful for me to get to soon. I am going to go to the mayor first, which is, I think, the better way to do this is just Williamsburg, so we can at least meet these guys. But I don't necessarily have to, so I could go to West Village instead. And that way I can bypass the Mafia. Maybe that's a better play. But what I really want to do is get to Industry City Harbor. Industry City Harbor has our page modules. And as we get more influence, we'll be able to spend that influence on getting additional pages. A big deal. Being able to print more pages means more elements can be used every month. We need that. That's a big thing. So I want to get to Industry City Harbor as soon as possible. I would also like to get to the radio tower. This allows me to unlock additional telegraphing stations, so I can get more connections on the map open at a time, which means more reporters going out and getting stories. I can expand and scale up my enterprise with more telegraphing stations. Telegraphing tends to be a bottleneck. You saw how I tried to free up the slots. Didn't do a very good job, but I was mentioning it anyway. Telegraphing stations tend to be a bottleneck. So getting over here is a really good idea. So I think what I'd like to do maybe, since I want to go this way anyway to get around, it looks like I can go here though. 1, 2, 3 gets to the telegraphing station. Oh, this is better. This gets me to the telegraphing station and all on the same one. If I get to Tompkinsonville, I get both. But I still want to get to the mayor. So tell you what, why don't we open up a multiple paths? We'll go Williamsburg first. Then from there, we'll go to... Wait, that doesn't go to East Village, does it? No, it doesn't. It moves all the way around. Okay, we're going to go here first. We're going to go West Village. All right. We're going to select this. They need economy and politics. Okay, we're going to go there. And then after that, we're going to go here. That gives me access to the mayor. Once I have access to the mayor, I'm gonna go this way so that I can get these two things. All right, sounds good. So West Village is where we're going next. If you like this video and you want to see more, I got more to share with you, okay? So come on back for the next one. It's going to post today, same day, a couple hours after this one did. So if you like what you see, view the link in the pinned comment or something, get the playlist link in the description, and I'll see you over there, okay? Bye-bye.